Hola and welcome back to Spanish with Marin. Sorry there is some background noise. I have to have a fan on me because I'm very hot right now. Alright, you're gonna have another lesson in food. So our last lesson on food was more about ingredients of food. So today we are gonna learn a little bit more about dishes that those ingredients might go into. So I just thought of some normal things you might eat for, lunch or supper, and some other words you might need to know. So let's just get right into it. Alright, first word I thought of, pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? And so, pizza in Spanish is pizza. I don't know what to tell you. Same with pasta. I love pasta so much. Pasta in Spanish is just pasta. You just say it with a little bit of an accent. Then we have, I'm trying to get this in here, then we have salad. So this can be used if you're talking about salad with like lettuce and stuff, or if you're talking about like potato salad or macaroni salad or whatever we eat here in America. So salad is ensalada. So you can see that the word salad is in that word ensalada. So that's kind of a good way to remember it. Just adding a few extra letters. So, alright, next we're gonna learn the word for burger. So the word for burger, which is like hamburger, is hamburguesa, and it is spelled a little bit similar to hamburger. And so if you're gonna say cheeseburger, you'd say hamburguesa con queso. So hamburger with cheese. They don't have their own word for cheeseburgers. Next, soup. This is another word that is fairly similar and somewhat easy to remember. It is sopa. So kind of like, that sounds like it would mean soap, like what you wash your hands with, but don't worry. Soup is sopa. Then we have sandwich, which there are many different words for sandwich, but the one that I learned, primarily because it is easier to remember for English speakers, is sandwich. There are plenty of other words you might hear, but if you say sandwich, it's a lot easier for us to remember, and a Spanish-speaking person will understand what you're trying to say. And then, rice. This is a staple ingredient in almost every culture, so of course it's used in Spanish cuisine, which we will get into probably another time. Rice is arroz. So it does have that double R. I can roll my R's, but I know most people can't. So it'd be arroz, but it's okay if you can't. Arroz, again, is kind of like rice, a little bit at the end, like rice. Just in case you need help remembering things. And then I added the word vegetarian. This is the word vegetarian used as a descriptor. So if you're referring to a person that is a vegetarian, this is not the word you would use, but if you were referring to a meal that is vegetarian, you would say vegetariana. So if you're saying like veggie burger, it'd be hamburguesa vegetariana. They are right next to each other, coincidentally. Alright, now maybe on this side, we have some common like proteins, meats, used in not just these dishes, but most dishes. So, beef. Last time we learned that the word for meat is carne, which is true, but carne also means beef. And there are a few other words used to mean beef, but typically you would just say carne de vaca, which a vaca is a cow. And so if you're at a Mexican restaurant and they have carne asada, that is beef. It's kind of like grilled beef. I love carne asada. Very yummy. Okay, next we have chicken. And this is another very fun word. Chicken is pollo. So that double L is kind of like a pollo. Next we have pork. Now, pork is slightly less commonly used in traditional Mexican dishes, but it is still sometimes used. So you won't see this word quite as often at like a Mexican restaurant, but if you're going to be talking about your food, like if you're having pulled pork, you know, you'd be talking about pork. So pork is puerco. So again, fairly similar, but again, a little bit different. So puerco. Then seafood. So if you're pescatarian, or you know, if you're just eating some seafood, because why not? Seafood is mariscos. So since it is, seafood is typically a plural, I guess. Well, when you're talking about seafood, you're typically referring to multiple, like, things. Like, if you're eating shrimp, you're not just having one, you're having, like, multiple, you know? So, seafood, so there's an S at the end, mariscos. So that's why that is that way. So I just realized I never really went over how to pronounce mariscos. Seafood is mariscos. So, mar is sea or ocean, and so that's kind of an easier-ish way to remember that, so mariscos. And then, I added tofu just because that is a very common protein used in vegetarian food. So tofu is tofu. And that is because tofu is already a word in Chinese that every other country just uses because, like, we don't need our own word for it, so we can just use the word that is originally its name. So in Spanish it is also tofu. Alright, I hope you are able to use these words a little bit and mix them in with some words we learned in the last food video, and maybe talk about things that you're eating. So if you're having fruit salad, you know the word for fruit and you know the word for salad. It's ensalada de frutas. And then you can sing the Wiggles song. There'll be too many syllables, it won't really fit, but ensalada de frutas, yummy, yummy. Anyway. Alright, thank you for watching. Adios!